Hey guys, it's Old Man G again, back again with another video for Red Devil Studio. The transfer news, oh man, I don't know about you, but it's just been frustrating. Even making these videos, it can be frustrating because the Manchester United transfer, it's, to be honest, I'd argue it's been probably one of the worst transfer windows we've had. Um, and then I look at last season and I'm like, I know everyone said that Mourinho was bad, but just think about it. Last season, last summer, all we signed was Fred and Delo. A youth player like Daniel James and Fred, someone who had a bit of Champions League experience in a foreign league. That's it. This year, we've shown a youth player in Daniel James and Anwar Bissaka, someone who has a degree of Premier League experience. That's it. So to be honest, there's a trend here setting, and it's not that. I mean, maybe we weren't able to get deals across. I don't know. So, but it just seems to be that United seem to be content with this, and it's quite frustrating. And I see a lot of Manchester fans being quite frustrated at how we're doing business. Anyway, the subject of the video is the latest news coming out of the Italian, but also French press in regards to United approaching Juve for Matuidi and Dybala, or at least getting in contact with them. Now, obviously, as I've said in previous videos, Lukaku, it seems, is increasingly going further and further afield. Probably going to be going to Inter. It was rumored to be 60 million bid with, I think, 50 million add-ons or so. And Lukaku seems confident the deal will go through. Dybala is seen as a replacement, somewhat. I'm not sure how, because they're not the same players, but presumably getting Dybala in, I really don't know where he would play because they're not the same player. But according at least to the Italian press anyway, you know, United have made contact. I think it's Corriere de Munich or something. No, Gazzetta de Sport. I think so. It's Gazzetta de Sport. Italian media have basically said, have suggested that Manchester United have been in contact with Juve for Dybala as a Lukaku replacement when they get Lukaku money. Now I'm interested. I personally don't see how that is a like for like for a start, which is why I think this news is somewhat questionable. But two, I also think that I don't see where Dybala fits where he plays. I thought he's not a winger. He's more like a number 10 player at best, at worst an attacking midfielder, but certainly more of a number 10. And United don't really play with a number 10, although Solskjaer has said that his formation is with one striker at the top with I think it was a 4-2-3-1. I think that's what the formation that Solskjaer is going to play. So it's possible that Dybala could fit into something like that, but realistically, I just don't see where he fits personally. And we have players that could potentially play that role anyway. What's probably more likely is that United will basically just keep the Lukaku money and just use that to either contribute to the money of purchasing Harry Maguire or Bruno Fernandes, maybe. But it again highlights the point that if Lukaku goes, who is going to replace him? Who is going to replace them? Because I think it's harsh, and Rashford and Martial, especially last season, didn't prove that they could step up to the plate and score goals. I think it will be very harsh depending on them to do it again. And likewise, Greenwood coming in first season be very, very harsh, although it's possible. It would be very, very harsh for him to be expected to contribute at the very least 20 goals plus season. I think we need to sign a replacement is the point I'm trying to make. Okay, so the man on your left, Matuidi. So of course, with Lukaku to go, this is obviously Matuidi is somewhat a Pogba replacement. Now again, for me, Matuidi is more of a holding midfielder, probably more towards a defensive midfield side-ish, as opposed to an outright attacking midfield player, box-to-box type of player, that Pogba can be. But according to Le Parisien, which is French media, United have got in contact with Juventus regarding Matuidi's availability. I think he's coming towards the end of his contract. It wouldn't cost that much. But is it a good replacement? Yeah, I'd argue it's a better replacement than Dybala for Lukaku. But again, this is contingent on the fact that okay, here's the thing. I guess you could argue potentially, if Juventus are still interested in Paul Pogba, which they might be, they could say, right, give us Paul Pogba, and we'll give you Paulo Dybala and Matuidi. In which case, fair enough. I think that's not a bad trade. I think maybe a bit of money, because I think Pogba is worth at least 120 million. But Dybala and Matuidi, I think at the very least for Pogba, with maybe a bit of cash, I think is reasonable. And if that's the case, then fair enough. I think that's a good steal, and that's not including the Lukaku either. So we've got money remaining from the Lukaku deal to spend on other reinforcements. So that for me would be the ideal scenario. Get rid of Pogba if they want, and replace them with Dybala and Matuidi, and then the remaining money that you can use for the Lukaku money, so you can use to contribute to getting Bruno Fernandes, to contribute to getting Harry Maguire. That works. But what do you think, guys? Like I said, and please listen to this video. I don't think this is likely. Most likely it's paper talk. But if Juventus specifically want Pogba, I see this is a potential means as to how they could get him. Although it's rumored that obviously Real Madrid are the ones that want to get him. Like I've said multiple times in these transfer videos, guys, the worst case scenario, worst case scenario with the transfer window closing is that we have a scenario where the transfer window closes, we haven't been able to get replacements for Herrera, even Fellaini arguably, nor we strengthen our centre-back situation. And then what happens is that the transfer window closes, Italian media and Spanish leagues open later, we lose Pogba and Lukaku and we can't replace them because our transfer window closes. And then to make matters worse, potentially towards the end, Leicester, for example, maybe sell Harry Maguire for 65 million to Man City because United wouldn't give them more money. This is the rock and the hard place that Manchester United often find themselves in, that clubs know that United have money and constantly want to take the mick by charging a lot. United don't budge, and then basically the club end up selling the player for almost half, 3/4 of the price to another team because they thought they could haggle United. So from that perspective, I understand from Ed Woodward and the board's point of view, United should not be a place that you should just shake money out like a money tree. But unfortunately, we're in this situation. We're 6th place best team in England, and in order to get that, we have to promote youth, which I agree with, but we also have to invest. Thanks for listening again, guys. For the last video of the day, I don't expect there to be a lot of transfer news or any major announcements to be honest over the weekend. Like I said, I'm doing a post-match reaction for the Inter game tomorrow, and then on Sunday there'll be another episode of Red Devil Studio Live where we'll get a couple of other rival fans to discuss who they think their starting 11 is going to be, as well as who they think the captain should be for the upcoming game. So stay tuned for that. Hit that notification button to get notified of the up and coming videos and when we upload them. Please like, share and subscribe to Red Devil Studio. Follow us on Twitter at We're United X. Thanks again for the continued support, guys. Have a nice evening and cheers.